Hi everyone, it's Leona from Leona's Designs, and I'm back with week 2 of the weekly Slow Stitch 2024 by K3N Cloth Tales. And this week, week 2, is a project called Dark and Light, and the word is balance. So what she did on her page was she stitched down a dark piece of fabric and a light piece of fabric side by side, and then she covered it with another piece of fabric that had a circle cut out of it. And then she did little seed stitches of opposite colors on each fabric. For instance, on this black fabric I would do white seed stitches, and on the white fabric I would do black seed stitches. And then she also couched down what she did, she twined, I think it was 2 different colors of, I don't know if it was fabric or yarn, but she then laid it around the circle and couched it down. And I have this yarn that's kind of gray and white that I thought I might use for that purpose, just to go around the circle and couch it down. And what her story was that it was a world, Earth, I guess she called it Earth, or yin yang or something like that, where, there's dark and light. Mine is, to me, that I'm going to journal about is dark and light. According to scripture, light always overcomes darkness. And I'll probably put a few scriptures in my journaling about darkness and light. And of course that Jesus is the light of the world, and he always overcomes darkness. So I just got everything kind of ready before I started the video. I cut my circle out of 2 pieces of muslin. This muslin was very thin, so I'm using 2 pieces, and I just frayed it on all sides. I don't know if you can see that, but I love that frayed look, so I just frayed each side, and I'm going to stitch that down and probably then couch this on. I was thinking of using black and white embroidery floss and kind of twining them together to go around there, but I'm going to use this yarn. I think it'll be a nice contrast. So I guess what I'm going to do first is pin this circle down and then stitch around the inner part of it. Oh, what I did before is I put a piece of white ribbon down the middle and stitched down that to hold these 2 together. And this is a 4-inch piece of muslin backing. What I did was I cut this muslin square, and then I think I used this to make my pole. I just traced around it and cut it out. So you could use anything that you have to make a circle. I'm just going to lay that kind of in the middle, and then pin it down so that I can stitch around the inside. I'm going to pin it on the sides. I will link Catherine's video below if you want to watch her original video on this. She does have a Facebook group also that there's a lot of ladies that have joined, maybe even some gentlemen, I don't know, but there's a lot of people in her Facebook group, and so we get to see a lot of pictures of different things people have done. And that reminds me, I said I was going to use this journal here to put my pieces in. I didn't realize when I said that Catherine at K3N Cloth Tales does have a couple of videos showing how she made her journal for this project. So I'm going to try to make a journal according to how she did. She slow stitched a beautiful cover, and then she just sewed in paper pages. So I'm going to try that, see if I can duplicate that instead of using this, because I noticed that this journal, the pages are very thin, and I'm not sure how long my piece is going to stay attached in there, or how it's going to work out when I get a lot of pieces in here. It's probably going to start pulling away. But I did put the first page in there, and I do like the idea. One of the ladies in the Facebook group said she was going to make her pieces into little pockets, and then, ooh, it's kind of hard stitching through that ribbon, and then she's going to put her thoughts about each piece on a piece of notepaper inside the pocket. I thought it was a good idea too. Another lady said she was going to use her journal as a prayer journal, and each piece that she put in there, she would have a story and maybe have some prayers about, or thoughts about what it took to create it. There's a lot of interesting ideas in the Facebook group, so I'm glad for that. And I'm just doing some straight stitches here to hold this circle down. It doesn't matter what they look like, because, which is good for me. I got something caught here. Doesn't matter what they look like, because they're going to be covered up with the couching. I think my needle's kind of dull, because it seems like it's a little difficult to sew through this. It shouldn't be. So, I'm in this Slow Stitch 2024 weekly group, and I'm in another Slow Stitch group that's monthly with Danella Mellon. And I just saw another one that sounds interesting on YouTube from Marion's World. She's doing a weekly slow stitch project also. I don't know if I have time to join another one or not. I want to, but I don't want to over commit myself. Especially in the summertime, you know. In the wintertime, it seems like I have more time to sit and stitch than I do in the summer. I made it around there. And I'm gonna just take this needle to the back. Just make sure everything's laid down properly. And I'm not going to be able to knot this, so just going to snip it off. It won't matter because I'm going to couch down over it anyway. I think I'm going to press this down. It's my handy dandy little iron. Plug it in here. Turn it on. Takes a few minutes to warm up. And then I'm going to get this couching ready, I think. Well, maybe I'll do my seed stitching first and do the couching last. Start my seed stitching before I press it down. So get a little closer. I'm just going to do a few random seed stitches. I just love the way hers turned out. So I hope I can do just as nice a job. I love seed stitching. Especially when I'm stitching birds, because it just makes it look like they're feathers. So I met a friend for lunch today, and she's a slow stitcher, and we were talking about this project, and I shared it with her, and I think she's going to join in with it too. So I'm going to just continue seed stitching here, and then I will be back. Okay, I'm back, and I got this black side done with all these little white seed stitches. I just love how it looks. It looks so beautiful. And as I was stitching, I was thinking about all these little white stitches are like lights in the darkness. And maybe they're reflections of Christ in us, or maybe they're prayers going up for someone in the darkness, or just a reflection of Jesus. But They're just little lights shining in the darkness. And that was a nice thought. As I was stitching, I am stitching these seed stitches with just one strand of embroidery floss. So now I'm going to do the black. I think I have a needle ready for the black. Just one strand of embroidery floss. And I'm gonna start working on the white side. These little seed stitches are really addictive. Once I got going, I just really enjoyed it and I didn't want to stop. So it definitely could become a favorite stitch. Just very relaxing. And it's easy to do, which is good for me because I'm just a beginner. So I'm just starting out with easy stitches. Now these little black stitches, I guess they could be darkness trying to creep into the light, which happens in our life quite often. In this fallen world, there's always darkness trying to creep in, sometimes more often than other times. But the good part about it is darkness cannot overcome the light. And Jesus is the light. So we have that power in us. I think for my journaling part of this, I'm going to look up all the scriptures on darkness and light, put them in my journal. I hope to get that journal started this week. I'm sure the cover's going to take me a while because it's going to be a slow stitch cover. But I'm hoping to get the pages done. It has to be 52 pages for the whole year. So I'm hoping I can keep up with every week. I did start doing a Bible recap on another Facebook group. I'm leading that in a Facebook group I belong to, Jesus Junk Journals. And we're doing the Bible recap every day, which is reading through the whole Bible in 1 year, chronologically, which I've never read the Bible chronologically before, so it's very interesting. We started out in Genesis and read through that, and now we're in Job. So far, it's been very interesting. You get the reading in the YouVersion app, And then there's also a video that Tara Lee Cobble follows up with her thoughts on the day's reading. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it so far. And the focus, the main focus is to look for God in every day's reading. To look for God's character in each day's reading. And that's been very interesting. And quite a few times we are already seen prophecies of Jesus. And I'm just amazed by the faith of Job with all that he's going through. He's just trusting God and prophesying twice or three times now about Jesus. And I thought, how did he get that great faith? How did Job come to that great faith? He wasn't even Jewish. He was a Gentile living in the land of Esau. And he was born 400 years after the flood, so somewhere along the line he must have heard the teachings and believed. I keep getting tangled up here. Oops. This darkness doesn't like me talking about the Bible. So I'm going to continue stitching this and I will be back. Okay, I'm back and I've got the white side stitched down with the little black seed stitches. And I just love the look so far. Now we're going to get the circle couched. And I'm hoping to use this yarn and somehow just think with the tail down here. Just kind of lay it around. And probably have to pin it in a couple places. Just get it laid down smooth. And then just couch it down. I think that will look nice. So let me see if I can put a couple pins in here just to hold it. And then we'll start stitching. I think I'm going to use I don't know. I think I'm going to use white thread. I think I'll use the white embroidery floss. I got one strand left here. And get my needle threaded. And we'll be on our way. Did not hold. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay, let me see, where do I want to start? Go start down here. And take the pin out. Just go over. And over. Just keeping it on the edge of that circle. Not pulling it too tight. Just, this yarn is very fluffy. I don't use yarn very often, but someone gave me a bunch of it. And I thought, well, it'd be great for couching down on my different pieces of work. And I didn't have any black, so I thought this gray would be perfect, and it looks like it is. Well, so far so good. It's blending in nicely. As long as I can keep it right on the edge there. And just gonna keep continuing on around, and I will be back. Okay, I got it all couched down, and I think it looks very pretty. And now I just threaded a needle with one strand of white embroidery floss and one strand of black, and I'm just gonna stitch around the edge of this piece here and see how that looks. Just gonna do some, probably just some running stitches maybe, and see how that looks. I think it might look pretty. try to get my stitches even. But that doesn't always happen. All you can do is try. Practice makes perfect. Oh, and I was thinking, as I was stitching, that I was talking about dark and light a lot, but I didn't mention that this week's word for the project was balance. And so darkness and light, we have to have a balance of darkness and light. I mean, darkness is good when you want to go to sleep, and light is good during the day when you want to do things like work outside in the garden. So there has to be a balance of darkness and light, just like anything else in your life. You don't want too much of anything in your life. So that was the word that went with this project this week, was darkness and light and balance. So we do have a balance of darkness and light, black and white. There's a little bit of cream muslin in the works. So I'm just going to continue stitching around the edge here with these running stitches. And I will be back to show you the finished piece. Okay, I'm back, and here is the finished piece. And I think it turned out really, really nice. I like all the stitching I did. I'm not a professional, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed making the seed stitches and the couching, and I'm happy with how it turned out. So another week in on the Slow Stitch with K3N. I will link her YouTube channel below if you'd like to join in this 52-week Slow Stitch 2024. And thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.